Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another anime review. Today we look at Izetta episode 10. I've had to redo this intro, by the way, just to gotta give you guys a heads up because I've messed up the title a few times because I've reviewed so much crap today that I'm like fusing everything together name wise. Anyways, so Izetta episode 10 was probably one of the better episodes because we saw a lot of drama. I mean, just in the beginning alone, this sequence of events is crazy. But overall, this whole like I think episode was very good and probably one of the better episodes of the 10 we've gotten so far. So I like how as we know the town fell and they're only now hearing about it in the actual field of battle. And what's ironic about this part is that while they're talking and everyone's saying what's commands not answering, yeah, no, we're trying to get a hold of them, they're not responding, is everything okay, what's happening, the whole thing gets exploded. It's not even a word in a sense, but the guy is like looking up at like one point, like after just all the wreckage around him, and yeah, he sees a very creepy witch, but it's not Izetta. I think he was hoping in his head it was Izetta. It's Sophie, and Sophie is disturbingly crazy. She just starts. She sees that the guy's still alive and under the rubble of everything else, so he's most likely gonna die anyways because he can't get himself out. But she just destroys the whole place, like bombards it with a whole bunch of missiles, and you see her shooting missiles everywhere and launching volleys of just damage all over this whole field. It's just insane. Sophie is crazy. She's a problem. Now, meanwhile, Izetta is going to be captured by the enemy, but luckily there are some troops that are seeing that she's in this dire straits. And so what they decide to do is they go and kind of set off a counterattack when an airplane, an ally airplane, starts shooting at the enemies, allowing them to kind of rush in and to kind of assess the situation in terms of like, well, what are we going to do? We have to carry her out, and luckily they're able to do that at the cost of the guy saying, "Oh, we'll be staying behind. Don't worry. Just make sure she gets out of here safe because she's helped us so much before in the past, and we need to help her now. This is our time to help her out." And you don't see it in this image, of course, but you see it a few images after where they are captured. So most likely they become prisoners of war, which is kind of unfortunate, but. It's just a shitstorm of all these things happening where Izetta is being shown on the media being killed or destroyed and defeated, and the other witch Sophie and her essentially controller slash creator is like, oh yeah, he gets a promotion, he becomes I think a lieutenant colonel, I think that's the promotion they give him. And they're just all reveling, the enemies, the Germanian Empire is reveling in the destruction that they've caused. You can see it spreading to smaller towns where now the smaller towns are trying to make sure that everyone gets out safely and are fighting back against the Germanian forces that are now invading their towns because the Zed is not able to stop them, unfortunately. Now, we do finally skip a little time ahead, and we see Izetta is okay. She's waking up. Fine's by her side, which these two are obviously a thing. They're really obviously a thing. But Izetta is asking what's happening. Why was she able to use magic when I couldn't use magic? And so one of the council guys goes, listen, it's because she has something called the magic stone. I think it starts with an E. I can't pronounce it, be honest with you. But this magic stone allows her to use magic from ley lines that you can't access. So essentially, it's empowering her via the stone's power itself. So she's able to do that. And we saw that with the red little stone that she has inside her, flying. I want to say broomstick, but I don't know what the hell that thing is. So I'm not even going to call it a broomstick. I'll say like staff, flying staff thing that she has. And, Izetta kind of feels disappointed because she's like, wow, I couldn't use magic when she was able to use it in a place I couldn't do it. And I think this is truly the first time we've seen Izetta feel like she's not empowered. Like, usually before, she was kind of comedic about not being the strongest or thinking maybe in her head that she was only doing what she could barely do. But, unfortunately, she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to just recover because everyone else is like, listen, you're hurt. You can't really do anything right now. You have to recover, get your strength up, your stamina back. Meanwhile, though, let's just say the war is not going on the Allies' side. This is going completely against them. The Germanian forces, with Sophie's help and her superpowers that she has, oh my god, like making this giant thing of water and ice. Like, it's crazy. It doesn't even look like that, but that's what essentially it's supposed to be. She's able to launch it at enemies, and it's so destructive. I mean, she has powers that are clearly stronger than Izetta in many ways. But as we see at one point, she does collapse, and that's because that she in herself using that power is actually making herself weak. And when we go and skip ahead a little bit, she's lying in bed. She's woken up by several people that are essentially the technology department where she was created, and they're saying, "Oh, don't worry, we're mass producing a body to get you ready to go." And it's like, okay, like, damn, you really have more bodies for this girl? She doesn't need more bodies. Really doesn't need more bodies. Like Sophie's, ooh, okay. So apparently, and then they start showing the little test subject things that they're like the smaller versions of her, which are growing at like an exponential rate. So yeah, they can actually mass produce her. I guess they could take her mind and put it into these other bodies and stuff like that, which is kind of disturbing. Now, meanwhile, Izetta's still out of action. She's trying to get better. Like she's trying to get up, and her servants are trying to help her up and take care of her. Excuse me, and they're unable to really kind of help her more because she's still weak in the state she's in currently. She was really hurt by the last battle. And Fine sees that she's struggling. It's like Fine's like, "Why are you doing this?" And she goes, "I'm gonna fight until I can." And Fine like gets really emotionally upset by that. She runs off and starts crying. And Izetta feels bad, but the thing is, Izetta is a fighter. One thing that I can say about the whole show is Izetta has been fighting since the beginning of this, and really is showing that. And she talks to one of her servants that goes, I made her cry. I feel horrible for that, but I need to fight. I need to be able to win this war. And that's kind of how the episode climax, essentially, more or less. You see a little bit more from the Germanian side and some of their future plans. But overall, very solid episode of Izetta. I think probably one of the better ones, definitely, because it harkens back to like the first couple episodes where drama was like main thing of the whole show, and then slowly that kind of phased out to fan service and comedy occasionally, and just once in a while action. So I'm happy about this episode. This episode was very well done. Anyways, guys and girls, I'm done with my reviews today. Like no more. Now it's what, 2 o'clock almost. The rest of the day is free for me to do other things. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great blessed day. I promise I won't spam you anymore with the inbox because I don't have any more reviews coming out today, like I said. So hopefully enjoy the day as well. Goodbye, everyone.